What's up, everybody? It's your man, Donovan Sharp, and welcome to this edition of the Sharp Reality Live. At Donovan_Sharp is where you can find me on Twitter, and you can also visit thesharpreality.com to listen to past episodes of TSR as well as TSR Live. And be sure to go to the articles section if you want to read some of my best work on Return of Kings. The contact tab is where you can submit your questions, comments, or requests for future podcasts. And of course, if you'd like to support the show, just bookmark the Amazon link on the top right-hand side of our homepage. It's on the right-hand side in the sidebar of our homepage. Do all of your Amazon shopping through that link. Won't cost you 1 red cent to contribute in that way. Okay, so let's get to it. My guest today is making his third appearance on TSR Live. Unfortunately, we had a technical snafu a couple weeks back, and by we, I mean me. So his second appearance, unfortunately, isn't available, but not to worry, he's back. I'm talking, of course, about the founder of Illimitable.com, who can also be found on Twitter at Illimitable Man. That's a tongue twister. It is Illimitable Man itself. I am. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, and I do realize I have chosen a very annoying word to spell and pronounce, but I'm a cunt.
Hey, listen, that's perfectly fine. I think I think well, I was going to say I've never really asked you this in private conversations or live on the air. What made you choose the word or the name Illimitable Man or Illimitable Men?
I've been asked this in private conversations. I've been asked this a few times now. Like, what made you choose that name? And I guess it's like I think. Wait, hang on, my phone keeps fucking. I need to. My phone.
No, it's cool.
Yeah, I thought I. Right, there we go. It went. Oh, fuck. Right,
yeah, for all of you, and listen, what the audience knows at this point, my assistant, went ahead and sent everything out. The first link, for all of my listeners, the first link, for whatever reason, it would not allow me to broadcast this thing live, and so I was fucking with it for a good 10-15 minutes. I'm fucking veins bulging out of my head. I'm cussing, I'm fussing, so I just decided. Decided to create another link.
But you're a perseverant motherfucker. Here we are.
Look,
here we are.
I listen, and you know this as well as anybody at this point, having experienced this with me twice, is that as far as girls' game and keeping frame and all that, I am, listen, man, like I know what I'm doing, but one of my glaring weaknesses is my temper. I have little patience for ineptitude. I don't like things that don't work the same way every single time. That includes machines and women. If you suck my dick, I expect the blowjob to get every fucking time, or there's going to be a fucking problem. If I fire up my laptop, I expect it to act the same. It's the same goddamn thing. So we got it all worked out, and everything is fine. So you were talking about the reason for the name that you chose, Illimitable Man and Illimitable Men.
I think that I'm not saying it's easy, because it's not. Self-improving is not easy. But Illimitable is just a really nerdy way of saying that the thing is without limits, right? So it's like saying, like, you could be skinny motherfucker, right? Like, you could be like 150 pounds, which is pretty fucking skinny for a dude.
Yeah, right? That's really skinny.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, like, so like you could be like 150 pounds, right? And like, and maybe you're like kind of young, you're a fucking ectomorph or whatever. And if you lift weights and you eat right, and if your hormones suck, you get TRT or whatever. And I always fucking mention that shit because I think more dudes need to be on it. But like if you perform certain actions, then you can improve your physicality. Likewise, if you have at least an average level of intellectual potential and you read books, you can then leverage your intellect more. So what I'm saying is that a man, like when a man is when a man is young, he's not even called a man, right? He's called a boy, right? So
right, yeah, we're called boys, young men,
right. So a girl turns like 18 or 19 and she gets called woman. What did she do to earn the title of woman. She grew physically and didn't die, survived long enough in the world, and she earned the title of woman. But how does a man earn the title of man? Well, by not being a faggot and by developing, by, by not being
listen,
a
your
faggot.
rite of passage from boyhood to manhood is not to get fucked in the ass. Got it.
Right. So don't get raped in prison if you end up there.
Yeah, right. I would not recommend it, right?
Right, certainly. And develop, like, what I'm saying is a man has to develop himself mentally and physically, and Illimitable is just saying, well, I mean, obviously there is some kind of fucking biological cap on, like, technically speaking, of what you can achieve, but the limit's pretty damn high. Unless you're a fucking moron, then I guess like it sucks to be you. But even still, even if you're a moron, you can develop yourself physically. So you can still develop yourself.
Yeah, I agree. And just to continue what you were talking about there, especially these days, and even back in the day, there was no rite of passage from, I guess, girlhood to womanhood. A girl is born, and once she turns 18 and grows, when she reaches a certain age, she is then considered a woman. But back in the day, there was a rite of passage that boys had to do or complete or some sort of task. I remember I watched on National Geographic, and this was maybe a decade ago. There was this tribe. I want to say it was down in South America. They would put their hands in these sleeves made out of leaves, and they put like these bugs into the sleeves that had all kinds of stingers, and it made you numb and this and that and the other. And you would have to do that for 5 minutes, and you would have to do it 20 times over the next 20 days. So at that point you would go from a boy to a man. There was another tribe, I think in Africa, where they used to cut you. Like they take a razor blade and make small incisions, and they would do these designs on you. You went from a boy to a man. Obviously things could not be more. Okay, yes, bullet ants. My assistant just sent me. Yeah, it's the bullet ants that they put in there, and the pain is excruciating. But if you do that 20 times in 21 days, you are then considered a man. Then, of course, there was the tribe that did the cuts. They used to do the designs and things of that nature. And it was hard to watch because these little boys are sitting there crying, but they know that this is how it's done. Well, things could not be more different today. There is no rite of passage. The only rite of passage to go really from boyhood to manhood is to sleep with a woman. I don't know if you're familiar with the American franchise American Pie, but that is the most pathetic, and everybody makes fun of it. Oh yeah, it's such a great movie. Stifler's dad or Stifler's mom, she's the hot MILF, and Jason's dad, fucking an American.
Stifler's dad's a fucking beta.
Oh my fucking god, it was ridiculous. What that particular movie told us was that boys didn't become men until we slept with women. It was like the end goal. It was like their mission in life was to fuck a hot chick, and then after that, then your life was complete. And men and women alike have sort of echoed that sentiment, which is another reason why women are increasingly bitchy, because they're told, they think that a man's right to passage is to fuck one of them. So they're going to make it as hard as possible, thus increasing their self-importance. It's out of this world.
Like, I'd probably go one further and saying it's not fucking a girl. It's falling in love with a girl and getting your heart broken. I would say that's probably the fuck. I've said this before. Like, if you like dig through my Twitter history, I probably said this like I don't remember exactly when the fuck it was. It was a while ago, maybe like a year ago. And I was like, most dudes who haven't had their heart broken, they're not fucking ready for this. Like, they won't fully accept everything. They'll just think we're being bitter assholes or whatever. Like, they won't fully understand what's being conveyed to them.
Right.
So I mean, I think that's the unofficial, like the informal ritual. And to go back onto the point of what you were saying about how rituals differ. Like you talked about, was it South America? When you said South America, did you mean South America, the continent, or did you mean the south of North America?
No, South America, the continent. I
Right.
can't
Yeah. Yeah.
remember exactly where it was, but yeah, they put these bullet ants in these sleeves, and the way they described it was unbelievable. And so everybody formed this line. And it was always a teenager, 17, 18 years old, and he would slide his hands into these sleeves, and these bullet ants would bite the shit out of him for like 5-10 minutes. It was crazy.
Damn.
It's crazy.
That's some crazy shit. Like the phenomenon, or whatever you want to call it, like the pattern that I'm observing is that, like, to go from a boy to a man, you have to get fucked up in some way. Because if you don't, then you remain a boy. Because it's the removal of innocence to imbue a level of toughness, right? That's what it is. It's like when I was at university, some fucking years back, like one of the chicks in my class, we had a conversation one time, and she was like, "Yeah, I think when guys have been in the military, they're more manly." And she was like, "I think all dudes should enter the military." But you wouldn't want that for a girl, would you? You wouldn't want girls to go in the military. No. So then you have to ask, well, why would you want guys to go in the apart from the obvious, that men can, kill people better physically without weapons. Like, assume nobody has any weapons, right? And you want to make an army. You're not going to put women in your army because their muscle mass fucking sucks, right? And they're small and they just can't. Yeah, they're just no good at that shit. So, other than that, you've got to ask, like, from a psychological perspective, why would you want men to go in the military, and why would you want women to not go in the military? Well, when you see fucked up shit, it makes you tougher. Do you want women to be tougher? No. Why do you not want women to be tougher? Because tougher women they're less attractive. They're not alluring. They're essentially corrupted. We're all corrupted to a degree. Like corruption in a woman, it reduces her psychological and sexual attractiveness to the opposite sex. Whereas with men, the more fucked up they get, as long as they don't become faggots because of it, it makes them stronger. And by making them stronger, it makes them more masculine, and therefore they're more attractive. So it's like, another way of putting it is, the more experience a man has, the more masculine he is, but the more experience a woman has, the less feminine she is. And that's why it's funny when women say women like men with experience, but men don't like women with experience. And a woman, because a woman likes a man with experience, she will project her desires as an asset of her own history. So what I mean by that is, she will say, well, I'm very experienced. And she'll think that's an asset because she likes experienced men. But guess what? A man doesn't want you to be fucking experienced. He wants to train you, and he wants a clean slate. You know what I'm saying?
Well, not only does he want a clean slate, he wants a clean pussy. Like, seriously. Like, dude, listen, man. Like, men don't want to commit to a woman. Men don't want to commit. Like, a man of value doesn't want to commit to a woman if he knows she's had cocks into the dozens. It just doesn't. It just makes her less attractive. And that, listen, that is the very mission of the slut versus stud conundrum. Women admire men who have slept with a bunch of women. Men, we admire women who have slept with a bunch of men for about 10-15 minutes, and then we don't admire them at all after that. That's because women, they inherently know that sleeping with women is not easy. And the reason they know this is because they make it difficult for men to sleep with them, as they should. This is what we call shit testing, congruence testing, etc., etc. Going back to what you were saying about the rites of passage, I would also tell you that gangsters, like, anytime anybody wants to join, like, the Bloods or the Crips, whatever the case may be, they will jump you in. In other words, the entire gang there you go. They beat the shit out of you, and then if you survive the beating, then you are now a part of the gang. I know that. Man. Yeah, exactly.
Like,
and I know
fraternities. Those, like, we don't have it in England, but you have this, like, Greek thing in college in the USA, like fraternities and shit. They do, like, hazing or something. They do the same shit.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Mm.
And I know that in some, I've even heard in some circles, as far as like a group of guys, and you'll read this stuff in parts of the internet. Like if a girl wants to join the group, guess what? They got to fuck her in. So they basically just pass her around. And yeah, welcome. You're now a part of the gang. That's sort of an informal. That's sort of an informal way of doing it. So that's
Man,
an interesting. I always thought it was interesting the name that you picked, Illimitable Man. And then Illimitable Men. But that, listen, the reason you gave makes sense. I mean, women are limited, men are not.
I like, even if you look at it statistically, right? So, and what I mean by that, I'll be more specific. So, if you look at the IQs, the intellectual capacity of women, and you look at the intellectual capacity of men, and you look on the right tail of the bell curve, right? So the right tail is where the more capable people are. You will find more men at the more capable on the parts of the curve where there is an indication someone is more capable. There are more men than women alive by a significant degree as well. And the more to the right you go. So to go to the right is to go to someone who is more capable, who's more smarter. The smarter the people, the less women. There's less men as well as a totality, but the ratio of men to women means you have, like, for example, say at average intelligence, it's like 1.008 men to every woman. But then when you get to an IQ of like 160, it's like 8 men to 1 woman. So all the super smart people who exist in this, like right now, most of them are men. Like women, they're just average, I guess.
Listen, they really are. And I have always said this: no matter how powerful or talented or financially well off, no matter what status a woman has, she has what she has because a male allowed her to have it. There was a male, there was a man or multiple men involved in her rise to whatever success she has. I'll give you a quick sort of an example. You take one company, and in other words, if there was a company that was started by women, ran by women, all of the decisions, if there was a company that was out there, if there was a company out there where there was no male involvement, oh, wait a minute, that company doesn't fucking exist. That's my point. Women can't run shit. And they know they can't run shit. They can sit here and talk about, oh yeah, we're a feminist organization. No, okay, you can say whatever you want, but guess what? The big boss man is the big boss fucking man, dude. You can't, that's the way it is. No matter how successful a company is, even if you're a company that sells vaginas or sells dildos, whatever, all companies around the world, there are males involved. You could start a company from start to finish and not involve women, and that company would be successful. You could do exactly the same thing with all women, and the party would be over before it even started.
It's very true. It reminds me of there was an article in the Daily Mail a while back, which is for US listeners who have no idea what the fuck the Daily Mail is. It's basically it's a newspaper in the UK, and there was an article in that, right? And they did like an all-female television company, and the shit failed because they were all just henpecking and fucking sabotaging one another. And the woman who ran the company said, I thought if I had all women, it would be a more productive work environment because we wouldn't have like men trying to assert their opinions, and we'd all get along and all this shit. And that's not how it worked. It fucking failed because they were all just surreptitiously fucking one another over. They were all stabbing each other in the back and forming their alliances and all this kind of shit. And it fucking failed. And it's hilarious, and it proves exactly what you were saying. So yeah, you like most startups, right? Startup companies, very small companies, consist primarily of men, right? So the core value of the company is generated by highly intellectual men with a decent work ethic and the hormones necessary to have the energy to exert their will into doing what they want to do. All right. So they have a startup company or whatever. Then they get successful, right? becomes a big company. Maybe it has an IPO or whatever. And then as it gets bigger, then they start hiring women. And as they start hiring women, I mean, don't get me wrong, there are women who can be productive, but they are the fucking outliers. You know, there are like engineer women and shit, but they are the outliers. Like most women could not do rigorous engineering work. Most women could not.
Of course not.
They can't, right, exactly. Like that motherfuckers always say to me, oh, I know this woman and she's like an excellent programmer. It's like, yeah, but fucking, if we did like stand the population, as a percentage of the population of women, where would she fall? She'd be like 0.2%, and you're using that as a counter argument. Oh, fucking amazing.
Listen, that's. I mean, it's exactly. This is what they do. It cracks me the fuck up every single time, no matter what the conversation is about. I remember years ago when I had just moved to Las Vegas. I think I was talking to some girl in the break room, and I knew her and she was a fatty, so I was just in there just making conversation. I was not trying to stick my dick in her, but I remember this was like right as I was starting to awaken red pill wise, and I remember telling her that, you know what, like, people just don't stay married anymore. And I remember telling her, yeah, they say the divorce rate is 50%, but it's probably much higher than that. She says, well, I know a couple who's been married for 50 years and blah, 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 blah. And I said to her, the exception does not make the rule. And she shut the fuck up. She knew I was right. People want to, women in particular, anytime we tell hard truths about women, like all women are like that, or all women are slutty, or, well, I know a girl who was a virgin until her wedding day. Okay, number one, you're lying. And number two, even if you weren't lying, which we know you are, she is an outlier. She is an exception to the rule. And here's the thing. I would ask that girl, well, who told you she was a virgin? Well, she told me. Well, guess what I am? We both know she's full of shit. So chances are she's probably not a virgin in the first place. Gentlemen, you are listening to the Sharp Reality Live with special guest Illimitable Man, founder of illimitable.men.com. You definitely need to bookmark this guy's site and follow him on Twitter at Illimitable Man. If you have a question for either or both of us, type it into the chat section in YouTube. And if you want to join us live on the air, let my assistant know in that chat section as well, and I will send you an invite via Google Hangouts and get you on with us live. You can follow me on Twitter at Donovan_Sharp. You can also visit thesharpreality.com to listen to past podcast episodes anytime, including this one, which will be available on YouTube this time. It'll also be available on iTunes and SoundCloud when this live podcast is finished. Now, I want to take a turn here. I read an article this past week about male birth control. It would appear that the Vasogel, yeah, you've heard of it. Apparently, they have started to make strides in terms, like they've done all sorts of studies with the monkeys, and they've run all sorts of experiments as far as Vasogel was concerned. And look, I'm not a scientist, I'm not an economist, but my guess is that this is probably going to hit the market fairly soon. In other words, men will now have the option to take birth control. So I'll just read a quick snippet of the article here, and I'll get your take on this. And my page doesn't want to reload. Okay, it says, and it's a non-profit, so you already know women are probably involved. Okay, yeah, it says the nonprofit Parsoness Foundation has funded research showing that Vasogel blocks sperm in rabbits and was successfully reversed. But in the rabbit studies, researchers just analyzed the animal's post-injection semen to make sure that it did not contain sperm. Today's study sought to show that Vasogel could not just eliminate sperm in a lab test, but prevent pregnancy for real. So basically what this is in a nutshell, is that Vasogel is something that we can take or have installed in our vas deferens to block sperm from getting into the semen, which at that point, that means that men now have the option to take birth control. So I mean, there's a lot to unpack here in terms of what you think. My first question to you is male birth control. What are your initial thoughts on that?
So I like I like the idea. You can willfully shoot blanks. You can willfully shoot blanks. I like the idea of that. However, my primary concern is it reversible? And does it come with deleterious hormonal effects? So does taking this like fuck up your teeth? Or fuck up something else? Like does it like drive your cortisol really high? Does it drive your prolactin really high? Like are there hormonal side effects to taking this? Because women's birth control fucks them up. It fucks them up hormonally. They have, I mean, a lot of, it's funny because a lot of women don't even realize it, but the birth control pill they take fucks them up hormonally. They don't even realize it, right? So it's like, well, if that's the status quo for female birth control, then is Rusug or Vasogel, is this male birth control going to do the same shit? Because at the end of the day, if the birth control for men is going to fuck dudes up hormonally, but simultaneously prevents sperm from entering semen, it's not fucking worth having because it's just going to fuck you up in the head, right? So that's my primary.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, will it affect your mood?
Yeah, I think
would it make you like fat bitches?
No, fuck, dude. Listen, I don't give a shit. I'll fucking fuck with a loaded gun if I don't have to fuck fat bitches. From what I understand about Vasogel, I think it's basically just in, and again, don't quote me on this, but it is 100% fully reversible. There are no hormonal side effects. So basically, they inject the vas deferens to block the flow of semen, and I think it's effective for like 2 or 3 years. I could be wrong, but it's supposed to be effective for a while. And when you decide you want to have kids again, you can just you can take a pill or they flush it out of your system, and then you are fertile. What this means to me, as far as my thoughts on this, again, assuming that this is all safe, that it doesn't fuck up the male mind, it doesn't fuck up our reproductive system. Because if it took us to the point of no return in terms of having kids, then we may as well go get a vasectomy. So my guess is that when this does hit the market, all of these issues will be laid to rest. Everything will be high and tight at that point. But here's the thing: in society today, thanks to birth control, women alone unilaterally decide which babies are born. They decide, they literally have the keys to life. If she's fucking a dude and he knocks her up, okay, assuming that that's what they both wanted, if she gets knocked up by a dude, she can choose to have the baby or she can choose to have an abortion. Number one. The second scenario is that if she's on birth control, he can shoot as many loads into her as she wants. She's not having a kid. Okay, so women, and here's another thing. Women also, here's the third scenario that trips guys up, is women will get off of birth control and not tell the guy that they're being fucked by, and oh, by the way, I'm pregnant, and oh, by the way, I'm going to have the kid. I remember a long time ago,
that's cool.
I remember a long time ago I was in paralegal school and we were discussing abortion, and I remember the teacher of the class, she was a female. Just like a woman's choice. It says, okay, so wait a minute. So if you have the baby, okay, so if you're pregnant, all right, and when you're deciding on whether or not to have an abortion, you don't want male input, your body, your choice. But then if you decide to have the baby, oh, now all of a sudden you want our financial support. Which is it? And the way the sexual marketplace is, along with birth control, giving women full control of which babies are born and which are not, this is one of the great disadvantages that men have. But you insert Vasogel, now we have control in terms of what we want to do and what we don't want to do. You hear countless stories of a guy getting a vasectomy, not telling somebody, like not telling his wife or his girlfriend. She gets pregnant. He says, surprise, I got a vasectomy. I'm sterile, bitch. And you can take your cheating slutty ass and go find the baby daddy, whoever he may be. So what effect do you think Vasogel will have on the sexual marketplace?
Well, firstly, I'm skeptical of its ability to be launched. So what I mean is that we live in a, lack of a better term, a pretty pro-female gynocentric kind of fucking society. I know when you say that, it sounds ridiculous, right?
Oh, but it's true. It's fucking true, man.
But it's like it's kind of like And the weird thing is a lot of women aren't even that feminine, but it's just like if you look like a woman, then shit's in your fucking favor. But so what I'm saying is that the government pander to women because women are the democratic majority, and therefore, if you pander to women, you can get their vote, and then you can stay in power because they will outvote the men. And then you have to bear in mind that a large percentage of men are fucking faggots and vote like women as well. So then you add their vote to the female vote, and believe me when I say the number of faggoty, effeminate men voting in the same way as women is larger than the number of conservative women who are going to vote in opposition to that. So you have less conservative women than you have lame fucking men who are gonna vote in this kind of like pro feminist manner. And so I don't want to digress too much. This is actually relevant. What I'm saying is that I'm skeptical of the ability for this contraception to be brought to market. Like, I'm not sure. Like, just because it exists and just because it's capable doesn't mean it's going to be sold. If the government doesn't want it to be sold, it won't be sold. So if they think it's going to disrupt society too much, if they think it's going to piss off feminists too much or whatever, right? And it be like a lot of. But here's the funny thing is most women don't identify as feminists, right? This is an actual statistic. This is what I find funny. The average woman does not identify as a feminist, but the average woman believes in fucking gender equality.
Oh, you're goddamn right. Right, exactly.
Bullshit
and it's funny because feminism it's almost losing its name. And you hit the nail right on the fucking head. The average woman doesn't identify as a feminist, but all of her beliefs are feminist. Like
feminist,
right? Yeah. Like she's a feminist and she doesn't even know it. I've got a question here for you from ARIM, and this is kind of off the topic. It says, "What's the best way to deal with parents and extended family when they start pressuring you to get married?"
Well, tell them to fuck off.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's bullshit. Like, I mean, is the girl a fatty? I mean, is she ugly? I mean, listen, parents, especially the mother, women are self-aware. If she knows something, here's the thing, Mr. AR4, and I'll let IM jump in on this. The first thing that comes to mind is there's something about her that her parents know that you don't. There's a reason. There's obviously the reasons are obvious. They want their kid to get married. They don't want her to ride the carousel. I get it. The best way to deal with that pressure is do what you want to do. You don't have to tell them no, but guess what, man? If you don't sign on the dotted fucking line and walk down that fucking aisle, then you ain't getting married. That's all there is to it. What do you think, IM?
I'm thinking a few things right now. I'm thinking. So, firstly, I think it's like I understand their paternal bias towards their daughter. Basically, like you said, they don't want their daughter to be a hoe and all that. And that's an admirable thing. I mean, if I was her father, I wouldn't want her to be a hoe either. But at the same time, we've got to look at it from the perspective of the person asking the question. Should you marry her? Probably not. Marriage is just a bad deal for even if you find a really good woman, right? From a legal perspective, marriage is bullshit.
Oh, it is.
Right? So they're just gonna fuck you over. Like they're just gonna steal your shit, call you a cunt, not let you see your kid. That's modern marriage, right? So it doesn't matter what your values are. It doesn't matter how masculine you are. It doesn't matter how feminine she is. The legal system is the legal system, right? So if shit happens, right? If you can't guarantee you're going to stay together for fucking ever, if shit fucking happens, then guess what? Guess who's losing all their shit? Guess who's going to see their kid, if they're lucky, once a week? Your ass.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing to me. Listen, it's about leverage. And this is funny. You take any scenario, right? A guy and a girl, they've been dating for a couple of years. She's been pressuring him to get married and, my biological, the same old excuses that women give. Well, if she catches wind that he may be thinking about proposing or getting married, dude, that's gonna be the best 6 to 10 months of his life. Dude, she will suck his cock on demand. She'll be at the gym every day. She'll make him 7-course home cooked meals. She is gonna be the perfect fucking woman until his beta dumbass gets down on his knee and proposes to her. Okay. Now, if he proposes, he loses a little bit of leverage, but the deed hasn't been done yet. But the moment you walk down that aisle and you sign that marriage contract as a man, you lose all of your leverage. Because here's the thing. In Western marriages, men have everything to lose and nothing to gain. Women, on the other hand, have nothing to lose and everything to gain. She gets the kids. She gets half of his present, future, and sometimes past earnings. Then there's the bullshit that's alimony. Marriage is just a bad bet for men. If I were a woman, I'd want to get married too. Fucking take a few cocks and be set for life. Sign me up. Like, I get why women want to get married so badly, but for men, this is a bad bet. So AR, listen, I guess to wrap this question up here, if my advice to you obviously is not to get married. If she is, and this is kind of like a covert shit test, I think that she doesn't want to pressure you because she doesn't want to be that girl who's trying to drag you down the aisle. So maybe her parents are. Maybe she's telling her parents, "Hey, I want you to squeeze this guy so that I get a proposal." Obviously, you're not ready to get married, and if you ain't ready to get married, don't get married.
Wait, I wanna give him two options. I think there's two things we can say, two additional things we can say that may save his life. Firstly, if you do get married, and I don't recommend it, I must understand, but if you do it, right, put all your wealth into like a trust somewhere, right? So that means it's your money and you have access to it, but it's legally technically not yours. So when your ass gets divorced, it can't be touched, right? So you're marrying for the sake of politics, not because you believe in the institution. And it means when it comes to rape you can't be raped because your shit legally isn't your shit, even though you have access to it. The other thing is you can do a fake marriage, right? So you can have like the ceremony and all that shit, but you're not actually legally married. Just food for thought, you know. I'm not saying you've got to do it or anything. Just some options.
Going back to what we were talking about, just to kind of hit reverse here, there is an article that was posted on at the Washington Post. It was actually on Valentine's Day, and it looks as though there is the Oklahoma House Committee. They passed a bill that would require a woman to get the written consent of the fetuses of the baby's father before getting an abortion. So in other words, if a girl gets knocked up, she cannot unilaterally decide to just walk into an abortion clinic and terminate the pregnancy. She's got to have written consent from the guy that knocked her up. What do you think about that?
So it's saying that instead of the mother unilaterally determining whether she can kill the fetus, there must be agreement from both parents for that to be legally allowed to occur. Is that what you're saying?
That's exactly what I'm saying. And because any woman she can make the decision on her own to go get an abortion. She doesn't have to have anybody's permission. She can just go say, take this baby out of me. They don't have to have any sort of permission. They can just go in and do it. But now what this particular bill in Oklahoma says is that, hey, we understand we'll perform the abortion for you, but we want to make sure that both the biological mother and the mother and the biological father are in agreement of this. And this goes right back to what I was saying about vassal gel and the implications that it has on the sexual marketplace. We now have more leverage because we now can choose which women we decide to impregnate and which women we do not.
Assuming it comes to market. Quite a ruthless kind of raw thing to say, but a lot of people who exist today who breathe air only do so because their dumbass mother thought for some emotional random reason thought, hey, you know what? Like, yeah, I'm just gonna have a kid. Maybe I'll get some welfare or something, and that's why they exist. Like,
fucking ridiculous.
I think women the funny thing is, right? The funny thing is about women is they discriminate more than men when it comes to who they will have sex with. However, when it comes to should we have a child, they discriminate less than men.
Right.
How weird
right.
is that? That's fucking weird, isn't it? It's really weird. So men will have sex more easily, but they will want they will want a child to result from that intercourse less of the time, whereas women will not have sex so easily with any man, but once they're having a baby, they're more likely to have it. They just yeah, they're literally they don't just like okay, I'm pregnant. I don't believe like literally the standard line is I don't believe in abortion. Well,
Of course.
what if you
Yeah, they
got
always
like what
say
if you got
that.
raped? What if you got raped and you don't believe in abortion? So you're trying to say rape's a valid sexual strategy? You could have been raped by a fucking third world loser with an IQ of 75, but you don't believe in abortion, so you're going to keep it. That's fucking lame. That's like, you know what I
It
mean?
is, and it's listen. It's just like feminism. Listen, it's just like feminism. Feminism allows women to pick and choose what is convenient and inconvenient for them to follow. So they want a man to open a door for them and pull out their chair, okay, and pay the bill. But then when it comes to other stuff, in other words, they want it both ways. Like well, I want you to treat me like a lady, but I want you to forgive my sexual past. Well, sweetheart, if you didn't act like a lady a month ago, I'm not going to treat you like a lady now. If you got fucked by 100 cocks, guess what? I'm going to fucking blast my load in your face like those 100 other cocks. I'm not going to treat you with respect if you don't respect yourself. That's just how it works. I got another question here from a listener, Chad, who is 26 years old, and this is right up your alley. And he says, this is actually for us both. It says, now this is an interesting question. It says, do you ever take anything personal when dealing with Machiavellian men and manipulative women?
Well, I mean, you kind of have to take things personal, but you can't like so. I mean, the game is the game, right? But if someone is playing the game consciously in a way to try and fuck you over, then that's their intent. So their intent is to circumvent, to steal, to somehow or otherwise sabotage you. So you can simultaneously respect their ability whilst thinking they're a cunt. I think that's the simplest way I can put it. So you can't. Very few human. Do you know? The funny is, right? I think the least empathetic people I've met in my life take things personally. So what I mean by that is just because they don't care about you doesn't mean they don't take things personally, right? So because there's an ego component to it. People have ego, and when someone infringes on your ego, it's taken personally. If someone wants to steal your shit, you take it personally. If someone wants to fuck your girl, you take it personally. Even if an aspect of you thinks, well, oh, okay, you know, they're quite skilled. I respect them for their skill. You can think that, and you can simultaneously think, well, this person's trying to fuck with me, so I'm going to smack them in the face. Like,
listen, it's like professional athletes. It's like professional athletes. You know, you living in the UK, I'm sure you're well aware of Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson. That was the holy trinity of the NBA back in the 80s and the early 90s. And they all, like, during their playing, of course, they're all older men now, and, you know, their time has passed, but they will all tell you very quickly, oh, I hated Larry, I hated Michael, or I hated Magic, and we wanted to rip each other's throats out. But in the same breath, they would always say, but man, I respect the hell out of him because his jumper was clean, or he was competitive. Like, I didn't like him very much on the court, but you had to respect his competitiveness and his skill. As far as dealing with Machiavellian men is concerned, I would agree. I would agree with you. If someone's trying to fuck my girl, all right, I'm certainly going to take it personally, and I'll handle that the way I handle it. And if he succeeds, I'm not gonna kick his ass. I'm kicking my fucking girl's ass. Because at that point, I can respect your game all you I'll respect your game all you want to, and I will take it personally if you fuck my girl and you know that's my girl. I'll take it personally, but guess what? Hey, I mean, sometimes you have to tip your cap and just understand that one man's game is just better than yours. Not that I would ever let that happen, but you just like it's just different. Now, as far as women are concerned, dealing with manipulative women, I don't take that personally at all. When women try to manipulate me or try to handle me, I every once in a while I will get heated, especially when it's obvious what she's trying to do. I'll just say, look, bitch, don't fucking insult my intelligence. Like, get out of here with that. Try again, whatever. But more times than not, I don't really take it personally because women are going to be women. It's not like they are trying to manipulate you. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a woman. I don't know what they think. But when a woman if a woman tries to fuck you over or take advantage of you in some way, yeah, that's going to piss me off. But if she is trying to manipulate me because she wants something or it's a means to an end, I don't really take it personally because that's just what women do. Women are manipulative. They are manipulative. I can't talk today. Women are manipulative creatures. And a lot of men, especially in the MGTOW sect of the Manosphere, a lot of those guys are angry. Obviously not all of them are, but there are a lot of guys who are pissed off. And they say, oh my God, women are sluts, they're whores, they're fucking nefarious, they're two-faced, alpha fucks, beta bucks. And I was in that stage at one point in time. But the more you learn about women and the more you sort of live the red pill life, the less personally you take it, because you start to understand at a certain point, okay, I'm not going to take it personally that, okay, yeah, Heather cheated on me and I'm fucking pissed about it. Okay, Jennifer cheated on me, Allison. And at some point you say, okay, like all of these bitches are acting the same. So why am I going to take it personally if they're doing what I'm expecting them to do?
So there's a few things to say because a lot was said. So I would say it's in a woman's nature to be cunning, irrespective of whether she's intelligent enough to be conscious of her cunning. So even dumb bitches are cunning relative to dumb men. Dumb men will just smack you in the face. Dumb women will find a way to fuck with your head. Secondly, going back to the whole Machiavellian thing, if someone violates you, and by violate, right? Someone impedes in your territory, tries to take your shit, you gotta fuck them up. Even if you respect their game, you gotta fuck them up. It's your responsibility as a man to fuck up a violator, right? Whether you do that overtly or covertly, your methodology may vary. Irrespective of that,
right? Listen, you can respect them all you want to, but they gotta pay. Like, you're not gonna come into my house and try to take what I got without paying the price. It just doesn't work that way. So I agree with that.
I can respect Genghis Khan for decapitating the heads of all the people in my family, but he still decapitated the heads of all the people in my family, right? So I can respect his skill in an abstract manner, but he's fucking killed my family. So
I respect what you did, but you killed my fucking family. So now I respect you, but that doesn't mean we don't still have a problem.
Right, exactly. I think that's kind of a weird rationalization there, saying, well, it's like saying, well, the game is the game, and he was just playing the game, so why would you not punish him? Well, if you've read the Old Testament, it's an eye for a fucking eye, right? So if someone takes one of your fucking eyes, you take his fucking eye. And then there's the other saying, well, an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. Okay, well, don't take.
Okay, I guess we're all gonna be fucking blind. I guess we'll all be fucking blind then. Because you can't just take somebody's shit, man. Like, you just can't do that.
Yeah, so if someone takes my shit, I want to either get that shit back or I want to fucking take their shit.
Listen, check this out. I'll give you a quick example, okay? Last October, this was, I think, 2 or 3 weeks before I went on vacation in Hawaii. And I've talked about this before in podcasts. And it's a very simple story, but it's relevant to what we're talking about here. So I ride a lot of miles. Last season, I think I rode close to 4,000 miles or something like that. So anyway, I'm riding around and, I decided to stop at Walmart. I locked up my bike. I go in, I come back out, my bike is gone. All right. All that's left is the broken lock. All right. And of course, I'm pissed. I call the cops. And of course, listen, the cops aren't going to do anything about it. It's a fucking stolen bike. Big fucking deal. I ended up getting another one. But here's the point to all of that. It's funny, when I think about it, I used to go to that particular Walmart the same time on the same day. And in order to take my bike, they had to sort of case the joint. They had to know that I was going to be there. They had to have someone follow me into the store, I guess, from a distance to make sure that I was distracted and not coming back out, so the bike thief could do his thing. So you weren't going to take my bike. And listen, it wasn't one of those U-locks. It was like one of those. It was one of those thick wire ones. It wasn't the best lock out there, but listen, you can't just walk up with a pair of scissors and cut my lock. Like this particular, this particular theft, it took some skill. So this goes back to exactly what you're saying. If I ever saw the guy if I ever see some, and I actually avoid that part of the trail so that I don't, because I swear to God I am. If I see this son of a bitch riding the bike that he's stolen, I'm gonna get off my bike and I'm gonna beat fuck out of that guy. I'm gonna fucking beat him. I'm dead listen, my hands are getting hot talking about this. I will beat you unrecognizable. Now, by the same token, I gotta give it up for the game. Like seriously, like you pulled it off, man. Like I'm not an easy person to take shit from. You cased the joint, you knew what you wanted, you brought the equipment. Like I respect the game, but by the same token, that doesn't mean I'm not gonna break your fucking face if I see you with my property. So that goes along with exactly what you said. Respect the game and respect the skill, but guess what? We still got a problem.
I can think of one caveat to all of this. So, say the guy that stole your shit. Say he's stolen your shit, but he can offer you something lucrative in the future. Now, you're not going to trust him, but you may forget, or you're not going to forget, but you will let it go.
It's always going to be in the back of my mind. This son of a bitch took something from me without my permission or knowledge.
Yeah, of course. So you're never going to like him or trust him. But what I'm saying is that you forgive isn't even the word. You can not act upon your need for revenge because there's so essentially, if there's an incentive greater than revenge, right? Because revenge is an incentive in and of itself. Someone's violated you, so you want to violate them back, right? But
that's right. But if there's something greater that you can gain from not exacting some kind of revenge, yeah, you take that option. If it serves you, yeah.
That's like the only good reason I can think of not to exact revenge. So if you can like do a deal with this guy and make it $3 million or whatever, right? But you don't get your revenge. Well, how I'd look at that is you've just been paid, let's say, I don't know, $3 million. You've done some kind of deal. He's not giving you $3 million to not exact revenge. But say he has a business or something, right? And like you're going to supply him with, I don't know, some fucking merchandise, and he's going to give you $3 million, right? Then you don't want to exact revenge on a guy you have a business deal with. So now your incentives, your priorities change. That is like the only reason. That's like the caveat I can think of for not exacting revenge. That usually won't happen, but it's the only reason you wouldn't want to get revenge.
You know, I would agree with you, and you bring up a very good point. So let's say that I decide to jump on that part of the trail, and I see the guy ride my bike. I know it's mine. And listen, for the record, guys, I literally, like, I got a substitute bike in the interim, but then I bought the exact same model. Like, I liked this model so much, I had to buy it. And I literally put it together last weekend. So I'm having, so all that's said and done. But if I'm on the trail and I see this son of a bitch on the trail with my bike, listen, man, this is where my temper gets the better of me, right? Like, I will jump off and I will fucking accost this guy. I really will, because I'm a hothead like that. But if I approach the guy and he puts his hands up and hey, look, I've got $500. Like, I don't know what you put into the bike, but if you leave me the fuck alone, let me keep the bike, okay? But listen, I'll give you $500 in cash. Okay. All right, then I'll say, all right, well, that'll be something to consider. That wouldn't quell my anger, but that would, because at that point, beating the shit out of him would only exact revenge, which would feel great. But if I can get $500 in my pocket, then that would be a viable, workable solution too. That doesn't necessarily mean that I'm not going to beat the shit out of the guy if I ever see him again, sort of giving him a stay of execution, so to speak. And guys, don't think, oh my God, Donovan Sharp said he's going to kill somebody for stealing. No, I'm not telling anybody I'm going to kill anybody for stealing my bike. The point is that I agree with IM. If there is another resolution to be had that can be more advantageous than you exacting revenge on someone else, I think, given the circumstances, depending upon what they are, it would be stupid not to at least consider it.
Yeah, you have to cost benefit analyze the situation. But I reckon,
Gentlemen, you are
we could go
listening.
on about this shit for ages.
Well, I know, this is why I said this was right in your wheelhouse. As soon as I saw Machiavellian. So the short answer to your question, the short answer to your question, Chad, is do we ever take things personally? It really kind of depends on the situation. We take things personally, but by the same token, we understand that it's not all black and white. It's not cut and dried.
And if you don't take it personally, you're probably a cuck. It's like, well, he fucked my girl, but I don't mind because he has better game than I do, so good for him. No, fuck off.
Oh my God! Listen, oh my God! Listen, if a dude fucks my girl, okay, I'm gonna I'm gonna beat the holy of him, okay, and then I'm gonna handle my girl. But at that point, I'm not sticking my dick in my girl anymore. I'm not fucking you after you. No, fuck that. Like, you've been marked. Like, somebody else marked there. No. It ain't going down like that. Gentlemen, you are listening to the Sharp Reality Live with special guest Illimitable Man, founder of IllimitableMan.com. Guys, definitely bookmark his website. That is IllimitableMan.com. If you have a question for either or both of us, type it into the chat section in the YouTube chat box. And if you want to join us on air, let my assistant know in the chat section as well, and I'll send you an invite via Google Hangouts and get you on with us live. And speaking of your website, your latest article was brilliant. Dominance and submission. I loved how you explained the dancing metaphor, the difference between the difference between equality and like the myth of equality. I liked how you made us understand that lust and love were not the same thing, and that we are motivated. But the one thing one thing that blew me away, and let me go ahead and pull it up here, because this was absolutely, this is great. This is the last paragraph of section 5. And guys, listen, go to this guy's website, IllimitableMan.com. It's the very first article that you see up there. It's one of many brilliant articles. Section 5, it says, the man must act upon and mold a woman more than she does him. For if the woman is to act upon and mold the man, she will create something she finds abhorrent. More simply and explicitly stated, a woman will mold a man into something she despises, but a man will mold a woman into something he loves. That is one of the very basic fundamental differences between men and women. Women will say, you need to do X, you need to do Y, you need to do Z. And if you appease her in every way, shape, or form, if you do what she tells you to do and make these changes, you will eventually become unattractive to her. This is how stupid women are. Right, you lose. This is how stupid women are.
If you do what, yeah, exactly. If you do, like, women are not equipped to lead. If you do what she tells you to do, you will lose. You will lose.
Exactly. And women destroy men by giving them orders and men following it. Men, on the other hand, are builders of men and women. So if you let your woman change you, she will become unattracted to you. On the flip side, if you as a woman do what we tell you to do as men, lose weight, wear heels, swallow my loads, guess what? We ain't going nowhere. And I think that was the line in that particular article that I said, yep, this is it. This is exactly what happens. So what was your thought process when you wrote this particular article?
Well, it's like women, obviously not all women, but many women, they try to train their men out of ego. They think, if I make him better, if I can get him to behave in ways that I currently feel are good for me, then he will be a better man and it will serve my needs more. But what what most women don't realize is that they can't lead men, and they're not meant to lead men. It's like a perversion of natural law, right? So men lead women, women lead children, right? And men lead children as well, but women don't lead men. And if a woman leads a man, she eventually ends up hating the man she leads, and finding him disgusting. And then it's like, even if she's so egotistical, she wants to be in control and lead the man. And these bitches fucking exist, and I fucking hate them. I'm not even gonna mince my fucking words. I hate these control freak bitches. It's like they're like the female equivalents of fucking beta fucking faggots, right? So a dominant woman is like a submissive man. She's an ugly motherfucker, not attractive.
Right, unattractive.
Unattractive, yeah. So I see a fucking this is why every time I'm on YouTube and a fucking Nicki Minaj video gets recommended, I click not interested. Like, stop showing me this shit, because this bit, do you know what I mean? It's just abhorrent. It's fucking disgusting to me. So when a woman's trying to train a man, she thinks it's in her interest because she's being a selfish cunt, and she thinks if she can change him, that she will be happier. But what actually ends up happening is she hates him more because he is so easily manipulated.
Right.
And because he's so easily manipulated, he's not masculine and he's not a leader, which means she's a leader. And then she hates the fact that she has the burden of leadership. Because let's not be under any illusions here. Everyone wants to be the boss. Everyone wants to be the leader. But leadership comes with a huge degree of stress and a huge degree of responsibility. And dumb motherfuckers don't realize when you're in charge, whatever bad thing happens, whatever doesn't work out, whatever bullshit happens, guess whose fault it is? It's yours. Why? Because you're the leader, right?
Sure, you're the one holding the bag. Yeah.
So women want the responsibility of leadership, but no, let me rephrase that. Women want the power of leadership, but they don't want the responsibility of leadership, right? So they want to be in control, but when it all goes to shit, it's not my fault. Well, guess what? You're not a good fucking leader then, are you? Because a good leader, when everything goes to shit and you're the leader, even if it's not your fault, even if it's your subordinate's fault, you rationalize. You say, well, I was directing that subordinate and I didn't give them the correct order, and therefore it's my fault that the correct action wasn't undertaken, and I will take all punishments and responsibilities necessary in conjunction with that. That's what you would do. That's what you would say. That's what you would think. That's how you behave. Women aren't like that. So they want power, but they won't take responsibility. And this is why fundamentally, when they have power, when they have responsibility, when they are in charge, nothing but chaos and carnage ensues. And this is why no happy marriages have a woman in charge. And I say this in the article as well. I say you need a juxtaposition. So you need, the main overarching theme of the article is you need a dominant man and a submissive woman. But I also say, well, okay, so if you only need, I play devil's advocate. So I say, if you only need a complementation, if you need one dominant party and you need one submissive party, well, what's wrong with having a dominant woman and a submissive man? Well, a dominant woman doesn't respect a submissive man. She may like the power she has over him, but she's not fundamentally fulfilled within her essence. The hilarious thing is even dominant women want a dominant man, and they're not loving.
No, they're not. Listen, you're spot on with this, because women want all of the adulation and the accolades and the credit and the titles and all of the fun and all the benefits of being a leader without actually having any of the qualifications, let alone the desire to actually be one. Because it's just like you said, when the shit hits the fan, the leaders take over. All right. They want to be given the credit. They don't want to actually lead. Your second point was that women are ill-equipped to lead. Even if they really wanted, let's just say in Bizarro World that there was actually a woman out there who she wanted the benefits, but she was willing to do what it takes. Like she doesn't want to be a fake leader. She really wants to be out there doing it. Even if she wants to do it, she can't, because she's a fucking woman. Women do not have the characteristics to lead. They don't. And this goes back to exactly what you said. If you do what your woman said, if you allow a woman to mold a man into whatever she wants, he's not going to be a man, because women not only don't know what they want or need, they sure as shit don't know what men need. They know what men want, but they don't know what men need. So that's what I'm saying. Like, women don't know shit. And here's the scary part. Women don't know what they don't know. Listen, red pill women, quote unquote red pill women, which we both know is an absolute, there's a forum. Shout out to my red pill women ladies. You guys do what you do. But women don't know what they don't know. And until you find a woman who is willing to admit, I cannot be trusted to my own devices, I don't know what's best for me, you are the man, you lead me. Unless you find a woman like that, you will not have a happy relationship, because you're going to be in a relationship with a woman who's not with a woman who wants to lead, a woman who thinks she wants to lead. Because guess what? If your woman wants to lead, she's not going to be relaxed. And guess what I am? If a woman's not relaxed, she ain't going to be feminine. If she ain't going to be feminine, you ain't getting laid.
You know, I think this is like the grand tragedy of the average or like the average modern woman, whatever you want to call it. Like, you know, like you live in the US, right? I live in the UK. For all intents and purposes, from a dating perspective, it's the same fucking culture. There's no differences.
No, just really the accent and the weather. That's about it.
Yeah. Like, you know, I sound like I live in a castle. Like Harry Potter.
Here's the thing, listen, check this out. If we were to trade places, right? Because I don't know what British women think of American men, but I know that American women, when they hear a man with a British accent, they almost involuntarily drop their panties just because of what you sound like. Well, it's unbelievable.
I hope this stereotype's true. Like, I would love to just walk around the US and just.
Dude, listen, you will be up to your hairline in pussy. I can assure you of that. Women value, listen, sexually, women, it's so funny. Women value they value the most inconsequential things sexually, you know, and of course, listen, they're also sexually attracted to, you know, muscles and build and all that, but like an accent that, you know, that connotes mystery and, ooh, he's from a faraway land, let me get under this guy and, you know, see what he's got. So we've got a question here, from Excalibur. He says, is the friends with benefits really an option nowadays, or will women always bait and switch you? I'll let you answer first.
It's a short.
So in other words, what he's asking is the fuck buddy option really what women are after, or do they? And again, he can let my assistant know if I'm getting this wrong. What I think he's asking is, when women go into a fuck buddy relationship with a man, no commitment, just sex, is it just a means to an end? In other words, do they intend on? Okay, there you go. So yeah, continue, please.
Yeah, it's a foot in the door strategy, right? So if you said or did something in her presence that made her think if she doesn't have sex with you, you will leave her, and she didn't want you to leave her, so she used sex to keep you around and then lied to you and said, oh, well, I don't want anything more, I will just have sex with you. And you were like, oh, this is great, I just want sex as well, right? So you had sex with her, but then the longer you're fucking her, the more attached you're going to get, or at least she hopes you're going to get. And it's literally a foot in the door strategy. She thinks if she has sex with you long enough, you will commit to her, even though you don't think that, she thinks that. So no woman who just wants to have sex is mentally or emotionally healthy. We've got to realize this from an evolutionary biological viewpoint. Prior to contraception, you having sex with her means she would be having your baby. Now, you don't like the idea of that, and she's probably on contraception, which means she's probably not having your baby. But if we go back like 100 years and you're just fucking this woman, she's having your baby, right? So, and that has affected the psychology of women over history. And just because we've had contraception since the 70s, that's like a fucking drop in the evolutionary pool. So what I mean is that genetics haven't, like, nature hasn't caught up with nurture, right? So like, it's bait, right? And yeah, I mean, obviously she likes you more than you like her, and she's giving you pussy to keep you around. That's the simplest way I can put it.
I would agree with you, and I'll take it a step further. I think that a lot of times, I don't think that when a girl is approached by a guy and he runs game, she's sexually attracted to him. I don't think what goes through her head is, let's just be fuck buddies first, and then we will turn this into a relationship. I don't think that's what she's thinking. I think it turns into that eventually. I think when a girl, because again, women in particular, they never think beyond 24 hours. They're never thinking about what they're going to do. They don't know what the fuck they're doing next week, much less some sort of long-term plan. All they know is that they like you and they want to fuck you. That's it. That being said, Excalibur, if a woman decides to be your fuck buddy, you need to understand you're probably not the only guy she's fucking at that point. So the way this usually goes, and I've had this happen multiple times, so I'll just give my personal experience. I'll start fucking a girl, and I'll lay down the ground rules. I'll be like, look, this is nothing but sex. We're just fucking. This isn't going to lead anywhere, etc., etc. They never ever They never say, oh my God, this is over. No, they say, oh, no, it's totally cool. We'll just, blah, 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 blah. Especially if she likes you, she's not going to give you an ultimatum, because she knows she hasn't put in enough time yet. She hasn't built in enough credit. So while this is going on, and other guys, and if you happen to be the one that she likes the best, eventually at that point, then she will make a move to try to consolidate on you. Here's the thing,
her best option.
If you are her best option. And here's another thing I'll point out. Women can be fucking 15 different dudes at once. They only pair bond emotionally, sexually and emotionally, sort of at the same time, with one man. So a woman can have 10, 15 guys she's fucking. There's that one guy she'll never say no to. There's that one guy that she thinks she can consolidate on. There's that one guy she likes the best. Women, believe it or not, and I know you guys are probably going to find this hard to believe, women have a strong desire to be monogamous. They really do. Even though they're sluts, and even though they go out here and say, oh yeah, we're sluts, and we want to fuck a bunch of different guys, we don't want to be locked down, women want to be owned. They want to be taken. They want to belong to one man, all right? Unfortunately for men and women alike, our society enables them to be fucking a bunch of different guys, and then at the end of the day, they don't end up with that person that they really want to be with. But women want to be monogamous. A woman's end game, no matter what she does, no matter what she says, no matter what she tells you, me, or anybody else, a woman's end game is always a relationship. This is how they are wired. A woman, like little girls, don't sit around, even if they're raised by two lesbians. Little girls don't sit around and say, gee, I hope I can be this guy's fuck buddy for 10, 15 years while he's out fucking other dudes and I'm fucking other chicks. No. Women want that one guy. They want to be monogamous to that one person. So I guess to sort of circle this back to Excalibur's question, I don't think they necessarily pull a bait and switch, but just like I am said, it is a foot in the door. It is the crevice they need to sort of build that relationship with you. So when and if the time comes where she wants to take it to another level and start a relationship with you, now she feels like she can do it because she's put the time in at that point.
Yeah. You said that, and I don't disagree with this. I just want to add like a caveat or an adjunct to it. So you said that a woman wants to be monogamous and yada yada yada. Yeah, I agree with one major caveat. She wants to be monogamous. She wants to be monogamous with a guy who's strong as fuck.
There you go. Absolutely, I agree.
She wants like the strongest man fucking like possible.
Right. Because she doesn't want to be monogamous to the fucking hipster down at the coffee shop working on her computer. Like, she doesn't want that. She doesn't want that. Listen. As a matter of fact, like it might get to a point where girls, like in I don't know the year 3000, they have like these little blood monitors. They go up and they stick a guy. His testosterone levels is 60 deciliters per 60 nanograms per deciliter. Next, then she goes and sticks another guy. Oh, this guy's at 950. Yeah, let's go home with this guy.
Right. I think women. I mean, it's not quite as crude as that, but one can already detect that based on like your jawline.
Oh, sure.
And your muscle mass. Like if you've got a fucking sweet ass jawline and you've got muscle, well, guess what? Like the woman, like she doesn't consciously know it, but it's like, yeah, this guy is high T. Like she gets tingles because you have high T. Whereas if you have low T, then yeah, she doesn't.
It's like, listen, low T, and I agree with you 100%. It's almost like they always say, oh my God, boobs are always mystify men and this and that and the other. No, the reason why men are more attracted to women with bigger breasts is because breasts signify fertility. Right? The bigger a tits a woman has, the more fertile she looks. And men, our testicles, our testosterone, we are programmed to be sexually attracted to women who are fertile. So big, voluptuous breasts, make our dicks stand at attention. And, and it's so funny because you ask guys, well, why do you like girls with big boobs? I don't know. I just love them. Well, the real reason is because breasts signify fertility, just like a man with good muscles, a good muscle mass, nice lean body fat. They're quick on their feet. They seem witty, and et cetera, et cetera. That it's masculinity and femininity. That's what we're attracted to.
Like huge, very, very huge tits. That is high estrogen, right? If you pump a man full of estrogen or estrogen, depends on the English you pronounce your shit in, then he will get breasts, right? So huge titties means you've got high estrogen. So and estrogen's feminine, all right? So which is the same reason you wouldn't like a woman who's ripped. Like imagine a woman, she's broad, she's got bulging biceps, she's got a six pack. You see these bitches they do fucking steroids and shit, and they're fucking lean as hell.
God,
and you think, what the fuck is this bitch
That is
doing?
unattractive.
And she's so and because she's got all that teeth, she's fucking egotistical as well. Like she thinks she's some kind of boss bitch. And you're like, you're a fucking mutant. Like women shouldn't look like you. You're on drugs to look the way you fucking look. You're not even attractive, right? It's like the opposite. It's like literally that bitch could have pecs.
Right.
It's
like,
so
who the
ugly.
fuck wants that, man?
It's like a man doesn't want a bitch with pecs and fucking biceps, and a woman doesn't want a guy with man boobs. All right, like because.
And here's where women get the short end of the stick. For men, what we can do is we can get on testosterone replacement therapy. And listen, the benefits are well documented, but it literally turns back the clock. We're bigger, we're faster, we're stronger, more bone density, we can fuck better. I mean, it makes us more masculine. Our voices are deeper, bigger muscles, but women don't have the only reason women do estrogen shots is for I think it's like for menopausal treatments or something like so men we have there is a substance that's man-made out there that can make us more of a man, but as far as I know there isn't a substance out there that will make women more of a woman. It won't give her bigger tits, it won't make her more fertile, it won't make her more feminine, it won't give her the pheromones, it's just I don't know, that's just where women get the shit into the stick. But by the same token, between 18 and 28 they have a decade of absolute power over men, and if they don't take advantage of it while they have it, then fuck them.
There's actually a compound produced by the male armpit called pentadecalactone, and when women smell it, it's basically a pheromone, and when women smell it, they get turned on. Right.
Oh, solid. So I can just not shower for a week and then just go out and holler at bitches, be like, "Yo, smell my pits. All right, let's go back to my place."
Honestly, like women actually have that sense of smell than we do. Like if you're with a woman long enough, like she knows you have like you don't know it because you can't smell it, but she knows you have your own smell.
Right. Right.
And there's a pheromone within that smell called pentadecalactone, and it's a fucking effort. Like, they need to put this shit in some fucking aftershave or something. I tell you, dude, it would make so much money. There's a testosterone. Like, I wouldn't use a testosterone gel. I'd always recommend an intramuscular injection if you go down
Absolutely,
TRT.
the injection. Yes, yes.
But there's a gel called Testagel, and it has a smelling. It uses pentadecalactone as a smelling agent, and men who have used this gel have reported like they've had women come up to them and say, "Oh, what aftershave are you wearing?" And he's not wearing any aftershave. He's just he just rubbed this gel in his skin, which has this pheromone in it. It's a testosterone gel, but it has this pheromone in it that gives a certain odor. And women smell it as an aftershave, but it's actually just a fucking pheromone made a smell. And they love it. Like, yeah, the smell turns like this shit needs to be put in aftershave.
Gentlemen, you are listening to the Sharp Reality Live with special guest Illimitable Man, who is the founder of IllimitableMan.com. I've said it before, I say it again. Definitely need to bookmark this guy's site and follow him on Twitter at Illimitable Man. You can follow me on Twitter at Donovan_Sharp, and you can also visit thesharpreality.com to listen to past episodes at any time, including this one, which will be available on YouTube, iTunes, and SoundCloud when this live broadcast is finished, provided I don't make the boneheaded mistake that I did for our last episode. And as we round third and head for home here, I want to bring up the article that we talked about in our last podcast episode. We'll call that the Atlantis episode because that's in the lost archives, right? Like, that episode is legendary because there are only people that heard about it, but there's no proof there, so that'll always be mysterious. But it's this article on the Huffington Post that was written by Brittany Wong a couple months back called 28 Reasons It Pays to Have a Feminist Marriage. And I think where we left off, it was unbelievable.
I already feel nihilistic, like I'm losing. Like, I'm a positive man. I don't have a bad life. I'm already feeling. I'm already losing the will to live.
Well, listen to this. Number 10. This is funny. Number 10, and this is actually in your neck of the woods. It says, her number 10 says, ideologically, your partner believes that the world is a better place when women are empowered. As noted feminist and our favorite singer, Prince Harry, once put it, when women are empowered, they immeasurably improve the lives of everyone around them, their families, their communities, and their countries.
No, they don't.
Yeah, listen, the first thing that comes into my mind is listen, kudos to Prince Harry for putting it out there. Whatever.
In Prince Harry's defense, he is ginger. So.
Right. Well, there you go. Right. He is a ginger, so he is. So he's a redhead. So we'll give him. We won't mark him too badly for that. But the first thing that I ask is when he says this, women are empowered, blah 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 blah. All he does is he says it. There's no there's no reason. Like, okay, listen, Harry, like I get it. Like, I understand what you're trying to say. You and I are diametrically opposed in that regard, but how do they immeasurably improve the lives of everyone around them when women are empowered, when there is evidence all around us to the direct contrary?
It's rhetoric. It's just telling people what they want to hear based upon what the politically correct consensus is. Like, if there's evidence for that, show it to me, and if I see it, then good. And I don't just mean you showed me a chart. I mean, if I can see women in power improve in the world, I'm happy with that. I would be so happy. No, you don't understand. A lot of the things I say, I would love to be wrong about. I would love men. Do you know how hard it is? People don't understand how hard it is to be a man. And I'm not complaining for the sake of complaining. I'm saying it's hard. I'm saying if you want to be an effective man, if you want to be a powerful man, it's not a fucking easy thing, right? You have to take on a lot of responsibility. You have to take on a lot of fucking bullshit. You have to fucking take care of everything. Yeah, you can't rest. You can't let yourself get too soft. You can't fucking rest. It's a relentless war. It's a non-stop war, right? Now, if women were equal to that, do you know how much less shit we as men would have to do? It would make our life so much easier.
Oh God, yeah.
I mean, it's like, okay, you want to do like fucking even half the shit I do? Okay, do it. But they can't, and they won't, and they don't emotionally feel compatible with doing that. And the whole equality thing, there's two components to it. One, it's idealistic, the deeply, slightly more intellectual, deeply philosophical people like the idea that men and women are equal. And two, women are egotistical motherfuckers. They're more egotistical than they need to be, and they're not attractive, right? In a sense that they think, well, men aren't better than us. Well, guess what? We fucking are.
Of course we are.
Period.
Of course we're better than you are. We're bigger, faster, stronger, and smarter.
We're better than you. Get the fuck over it. We're better.
Yeah,
we are. you just got to get over it, right? So it's like egotistically, it's like, well, I don't like the idea guys are better than me. All right, okay. So if you have a guy equal to you or inferior to you, whatever relationship you have with him will fail. So that means
it will, right? Women want to be with a man that they feel is superior to them in every way, physically, right, emotionally, financially.
Yeah. But this is the fucked up thing. They want to benefit from someone superior to them while psychologically and egotistically thinking that they are equal or superior. And that is where the discrepancy lies. They can't egotistically handle being inferior to someone else, yet emotionally need someone superior to them. And feminism and all the whole equal shit, it arouses this, it exacerbates this. It makes it worse. Right? It's like instinctually they need someone better, but psychologically and egotistically and culturally they think they're equal at the very least, if not better than men. It's bullshit.
Yeah, they want the world. Listen, they want the world and their friends to see that I am superior, but that's not really what they want or need. It's almost like they do it and see it for show.
Like if a woman, like let's say objectively, and this is actually possible, right? If a woman is better than a man, guess what? She doesn't like you. Yeah. So if a woman's
right,
smart,
this is why female CEOs don't marry the janitor. This is why they don't marry the carpenter or the plumber. They'll marry they'll marry lawyers, they'll marry judges, they'll marry other CEOs, but they're not gonna marry down. They'll fuck down and not let anybody know about it, but they're gonna marry up every time. This is how they are.
Like the only exception is when they fuck like psycho guys. Like, so you have a guy who has like he's like good looking, and he has like no money. Like,
listen, I say this all the time. A man, and I think I said this the last podcast episode, a man who is an A+ in one thing, that is looks, finances, game, whatever. A man who is an A+ at one thing will fuck better women consistently than a man who is a B- at everything.
No, that's some truth. Yeah, I cannot dispute that. That is very basically if you're top 0.1% in anything, you're getting pussy.
That's right. Okay, number 11. This is a good one. Listen to this. This is ridiculous. It says, quote, number 11, your partner loves your body, but recognizes that the decisions you make regarding it are yours and yours alone. Sexual and reproductive rights matter to both of you. So at the end, she says sexual and reproductive rights matter to you, but she says you recognize that the decisions that she makes are yours and yours alone. So what she's basically saying, tried to put she tried to say, listen, if you knock me up and I choose to get an abortion, you're not going to have anything to do with it, and you should appreciate that, which is absolute bullshit.
I'm never going to talk to your ass again.
Right.
The thing you're a
that is fucking ridiculous. I mean, and listen, this is Brittany Wong, relationships editor at the Huffington Post. Dude, man, no wonder our society's going to fucking hell in the handbasket.
She's got an Asian surname and a Western fucking first name. She probably fucked them. She probably like, how many times has she been fucked on a nightclub toilet? Like,
oh, right, exactly. Listen, guess what? Listen, 28 times. 28 fucking times, and she listed a reason. She listed all 28 times she's been fucking ass fucked at a fucking in a club in a bathroom. She said, "Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and write an article, and I'm gonna list one reason for every time I've been fucking butt fucked in a fucking club toilet." Unbelievable. Number 12. This is a funny one. You don't, and then again, she's talking to men. You don't fret about maintaining relationships with friends of the opposite sex. Your partner knows you can and should have relationships with other men and other women. What say you, I am?
What I say is the more female friends I have, the more fucked on the head you're going to be as my girl.
This girl is so full of shit.
I just had so much bullshit. I just had to be so diametrically opposed to that. It's like, well, the more female friends I have, especially if they're good looking, if you're my girlfriend, that's gonna fuck you up. You're gonna be like, why has he got these hot girls for friends? Men
Yeah,
and
that
women can't
increases
be
your
friends.
value as a male.
Yeah, exactly. And it makes her more fucking jealous. She's talking out of her fucking ass. I mean, I don't know how much she got paid to write this shit, but fucking, man,
You know.
these mainstream publications, I'm telling you, dude, they're full of shit. Like you've got to read. You gotta read blogs. You've got to read shit that isn't fucking written by people who are paid by fucking huge corporations, because these big corporate fucking blogs and newspapers and whatever, like, not all of it's bad, but most of it's pretty fucking shit. I mean, Huffington Post.
Most of
I
it,
mean,
it's pretty shitty.
what is the magnum opus of Huffington Post? Have they ever written anything that's even remotely decent? Like, no, they just get a lot of views because they have a lot of fucking capital behind them. But have they actually produced anything remotely worth a fuck? No, they fucking suck. And they have like bum bitches, like fucking 90, 100 IQ bitches writing shit. Fuck them all, man. They all suck. Fuck them.
It just amazes me that it you more. It is, and this goes back to what you said in your article, Dominance and Submission. Women can tell men what they should do to be attractive, but if men listen to it, they wouldn't be attractive. This is right along those same lines. If a girl has a boyfriend who has a bunch of female friends, and they happen to be hot, guess what? She's going to be a better woman for it, because she's going to step up her game. She's going to make sure that he doesn't. She's going to do everything in her power to make sure he doesn't run around on her. She's going to look feminine. She's going to dress feminine. She's going to give him sex anytime he wants. She's going to cook his meals. By the same token, if a man has a girlfriend and that girlfriend has a bunch of guy friends, that's nothing but fucking problems, man. Because here's the thing, Ms. Wong, okay? The real reason why women want to have male friends all the time is because they want to be able to replace you at the drop of a hat. They don't want to tell you this because it sounds slutty, but this is what they do. Every girl has a guy who is their backup plan. A woman does not have a backup plan, which is absolutely necessary in today's world as far as they're concerned, if they can't have male friends. So by giving her permission to have male friends while you are fucking her, you are giving her permission to shop around should your game slip off. That's what that is. That's why she put that in there. She quite literally said, hey, you're not worried about my guy friends because you know that if you slip up, I'm just going to fuck one of those guys and I'm just going to branch swing to the next one and do the same thing with him.
Yeah. Well, if he's your friend, he's probably a faggot. I mean, there are smart women out there, right? And there are women who are interesting out there, but they are not most women. They are the minority within the minority of women. So if you're friends with a woman, you're probably just waiting in line to find out. Like, that is like the honest. That's the fucking honest to God truth.
But it's the fucking truth, man. Like, women are. Oh my god.
How many dudes are friends with a chick they don't want to fuck? I mean, yeah,
right.
They're just waiting to fuck. That's it.
It's the only. Listen, man. Like, listen. I say this all the time. If you're a woman, I will not talk to a woman unless I have fucked you, I am fucking you, or I am trying to fuck you. That's the only reason. Like, I have one female friend and she lives down in Las Vegas, all right? And the reason she's even my friend to begin with is because she more or less got I met her right before I discovered the red pill, so she more or less got grandfathered in. Had I met her after I'd taken the red pill, I'd have nothing to do with her. Everyone I associate with are men. And the women that I associate with, I have fucked, I am fucking, or I am trying to fuck. There's nothing platonic about my relationships with women. That's just how it is. To be otherwise, she's going to take you for a fucking ride, being taking you. Like, I think you saw my tweet, the guy who took the girl on the friend date, fucking flowers and horseback riding and ice cream, and then right at the end, hashtag still single though. Like, oh god.
Oh my god, I'm feeling ill already just hearing about this shit. This shit kind of went semi. What is it?
Oh I mean, come on, man. Like, this is how clueless guys are, man. And I bet you he went home that night and fucking spanked his monkey because he knows, because he seriously thinks that he still has a chance to fuck her. He thinks that what he is doing with all these friend dates and showering her with this love and affection for no other reason but that she has a pussy, he thinks that he's doing the right thing. And when she starts fucking the bartender or the garage band guitar player, that's when guys like him get pissed off and they sort of lose hope and go into the toilet from there.
He thinks he's buying favor, whilst in actual fact, he's just digging his own fucking grave. He's digging his grave, but he thinks he's buying favor. And if you, I know to that which you refer, and if you look at the comment he left, she put, "Wait, this is so ruthless." Right? So in the hashtag, she put "not my boyfriend," even though he did romantic, like, oh my god, I'm surprised no one was.
Yeah, it's almost, she gets the best of both worlds. She gets to show other men that she is treated well by other men while also being available to other men. Like, that's, oh, fucking hell, man. It's just, we don't listen, man. I say again, feminism would not exist without men. And we can sit here and we can bitch and moan about what women are, what women do, and about how they're sluts and they're bad and this and that and the other. Guess what? They're not doing this if we weren't so goddamn thirsty and fucking pathetic. Like, they wouldn't do this. They wouldn't do this if they wouldn't do this if we didn't allow them to.
Right. I'll say something very pertinent, right? If you disband the police tomorrow, feminism will not survive as an ideology. So there's no police, right?
Right.
But guess what? You can't just ring someone up. You can't just ring up the government and say, "Hey, this guy's being threatening. Come on the fuck up." No. Guess what? You ring 911 and you just get an engaged tone. Forever. 911's not available to you.
Right.
No police. Yeah? So guess what happens? So what I'm trying to say is, prior to high civilization, you couldn't utilize the government to defend or like to work on your behalf. It was just all fucking brute strength. Right? So like if we have like the apocalypse tomorrow and say the government just fucking dissolves and no one's salaries gets paid, it's going to be some jungle shit. And in a primitive setting, feminism is not possible. Feminism is only possible in high civilization, because in high civilization, public services are available to women and they change the balance of power. If we're in a primal setting, men can just kill anyone who fucks with them. Simple as that. And it acts as a deterrent as well.
Well,
so you won't fuck with me because I could kill you, right? So
right.
So the same like thought who will fucking provoke you when you're in your city center right now, right? Because if you try and fuck with her, she will ring 911, and then your ass will land in jail. That was 1,000 years ago, and she did the exact same thing. You would kill her. There was no police. She would be dead, and you would carry on with your life. So what I'm saying is that that high civilization changes the behaviors of women because they can delegate, like they can compensate from their weakness via the power of the state. So the state works on the so the state subjugates masculinity whilst empowering women. That's the crux of my point.
Right. It's what we said earlier. Any power a woman can wield is because of a man. If a woman had the power to call an all-female police department or hire female lawyers, they wouldn't call shit. They wouldn't call shit because guess what, man? If they call the cops, and I had this happen to me, I did a podcast about it a couple weeks back. this crazy bitch I was fucking, she tried to fake a pregnancy. I caught her doing it, and I was gonna leave. She called the fucking cops. Guess what? They didn't send a man and a woman. They didn't send two women. They sent two fucking men, dude, who are about my size. Okay, that's the point. That right, exactly. That's the listen, dude. I'm 6'1", 225. Well, I'm probably 228 right now. But yeah, they're not going to send over two women. So again, just like you said,
they never send to the police. Like at the least, they send a man and a woman, and I think that's the.
Listen, there is going to be one of the people that responds to a domestic violence dispute is going to be a person who pees standing up every single time. Any power that a woman can wield, or that a woman or they say hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. No, not exactly. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, and her army of betas and the police department and the gynocentric laws and the man-hating court system. That's why hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, is because the woman, they wield the power of the masculine for their own purposes. Like, get the fuck out of here, man. Women aren't worth shit. They don't do shit. They are here and they benefit. They live the lives of comfort only because of men, and they know it. And to try to fool us or anybody else, or to try to make us think otherwise, would be disingenuous at best.
Well, I mean, so men created civilization. Like, if you look at pretty much anything, well, not anything, but almost everything that was discovered or invented, about 99% of it, I'm not even exaggerating, it will all be either invented or discovered by men. So why are men inventing and discovering all this shit, and why are women just sitting the fuck around and being lazy bitches,
having babies, having kids? It's about all they're doing.
Yeah. So women are picking berries off fucking bushes and having kids, right? And what are dudes doing? They're hunting down animals, right? But hunting down animals is a more intellectually rigorous activity than picking some shit off a fucking bush and having a kid. And the second variable relevant to this is, throughout history, like, these aren't exact percentages, but they're in a near fucking ballpark. I mean, if you really give a fucking shit, you can Google it or whatever for yourself. But it's something like 1 in 17 men reproduced, and like 8 in 10 women reproduced. So most women have reproduced, and most men throughout history have not reproduced. So if you have 16 friends and you're the best of all your friends, and you go back at, like, I don't know, a few thousand years, only you're reproducing. None of your friends are reproducing. But then the upside to that is, it means men have Y chromosomes, right? So a man has a Y chromosome, women don't have a Y chromosome. So it means if only 1 in 17 men are reproducing and you have a Y chromosome, then you've inherited some badass fucking traits on your Y chromosome. Because that motherfucker must have been pretty damn good to reproduce when most other people in his demographic couldn't really fucking produce. Whereas if you're a woman, you have 2 X chromosomes. Most women were reproducing anyway, so there's nothing special about what.
Right.
Like, this is the reason men are more extreme. They either suck more, or they're better, because they have a Y chromosome. There's more variance in the Y chromosome than there is in the fucking X chromosome.
Right, men. No, I agree. That's a very good point. I've never thought of it that way, but you're right. For a man to want to fuck a woman, she just has to be a decent specimen of a female. There doesn't have, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that if she's fat and out of shape and, all this and that and the other, we're going to want to fuck her. But if she is if she is even, especially these days, if she's even a half decent specimen, there doesn't have to be anything special about women for us to want to fuck them. This is what men do. We want to fuck women. That's what we do. But with men, just like you said, there's a large variation and a large variance with the Y chromosome. And women are, you said this earlier, they are extremely attuned to which men are worthy of sleeping with and reproducing with, and which men are not. And that's a matter of survival. I mean, they have to do this to survive. And most women who are sluts anyway, they don't know why they're attracted to certain men, or they won't admit it. All they know is that certain things turn them on. It's one of those things where their hard drive or their subconscious, they don't know this subconsciously. They don't know this consciously, but it's sort of working in the background.
Yeah. Self-awareness is not woman's strong point. it really like they just kind of do stuff and feel stuff and detect things and interpret things that they don't. Like if you just say one question, one word, why? They don't know. They don't fucking know.
No, they don't know. And here's the thing: they will talk your ear off for 2 hours trying to explain it to you, but won't do it. I mean, they can't do it.
Yeah, like they spent 2 hours saying a whole bunch of shit, and they still haven't thoroughly explained exactly what. It's just a bunch of nonsense.
Well, I am. Once again, it's been a pleasure, man. Thanks for coming on today. This was definitely a great show. I'm definitely going to leave this particular episode alone. Like I said, guys, at the conclusion of this podcast, what I will do, this will be available for everyone on iTunes, SoundCloud, as well as YouTube. That way you can go in and sort of listen to it at your leisure. Again, you guys can follow me. Myself, Illimitable Man. A lot of great content on his site, illimitablemen.com. That concludes this episode of the Sharp Reality Live. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at Donovan_Sharp and visit the Sharp Reality anytime. Or the sharpreality.com anytime to listen to all past podcast episodes. Be sure to bookmark our Amazon link on the right-hand side of the page in the sidebar and do your Amazon shopping through that link, and you'll be supporting the show at zero cost to you. Like I stated before, you can follow I Am on Twitter at Illimitable Man, and definitely bookmark his website, illimitablemen.com. Again, I Am, thank you very much for coming on. We definitely need to do this soon.
Oh, you know, if we can do this every like 2 to 4 weeks, I think that would be great. Always a pleasure talking to you, Donovan. And yeah, thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Thank you all for listening. Talk to you next time.